14th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year B. The theme is moving towards God with hope. Some judges were rejected, some prophets were tortured, some faithful were killed, some priests made unholy of the temple in Jerusalem. Some kings wantonly breaking the commandments of God. Some people rebel against God's mercy. Though whatever the humanity did against the will of God, God is merciful. He showed His mercy to the humanity. Though Israel go oftenly against God's will, they were not totally removed from God's mercy. God loved them and reminded them again and again to turn back to Him. In the first reading of today, we see God chose Prophet Ezekiel to give hope for Israel. God promised through the prophet Ezekiel that He will rebuild the temple of Jerusalem. The temple of Jerusalem will not rebuilt with bricks and branches of bamboos. Rather, it will be rebuilt with a new heart and new spirit. Prophet Ezekiel wants hard-hearted Israel to turn back to Yahweh by listening and obeying His commandments. Regardless of rebellions of people of Israel, God still gives hope for the people of Israel to the prophet Ezekiel. In the responsive Psalms, we see again there is a hope. The psalmist says that lift up your eyes towards the heaven, the God of mercy. In the second reading, when St. Paul realized that he is weak and helpless and he is hopeless, he pleaded to God for 3 times. We see that in the text it says, 3 times I prayed with the Lord and about this, that He should leave me. What does it mean? St. Paul mentioned that he prayed like Jesus, who prayed for the 3 times in the Garden of Gethsemane. Lord answered to St. Paul prayers. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. What does Lord tell us? Sometimes because of our weaknesses, we give up. We say, it is not fit for me. It is hard. It is difficult. I cannot make it. In that particular moment, God is telling to us that I am with you. Though when you are weak, I will give you the strength to come back to win against the trials and tribulation. The gospel also, Jesus was rejected many times by the people of Israel. But Jesus, like any other prophets who was rejected, and they consider the ill about the Jesus. But Jesus gives hope for them by healing and teaching. In the first part of gospel says, today it says like this. Jesus was rejected by His own people, family, friends. They insulted and neglected the words of Jesus. In the second part of gospel it says, Jesus reminds the Israel how Israel's forefathers rejected, rebelled against God's mercy, and even rejected the messenger of God. The third part of gospel says that it did not do many miracles because of unbelief, but still He laid His hand on a few sick and they were healed. Not only that, he preached them in village to village. Most of time we fail in the third part. Why? What is our response if someone does not listen us? What is our response if someone rejects us? What is our response if someone criticizes and bully us? Because our weaknesses will fail to forgive them. We fail to forgive them, then we back with insulting and rejecting. We may get anger, we may curse them, and we leave them as they want, let them live. And we do not care about the people who insult us. But what is the response of Jesus? Instead of the cursing the people who criticize, Jesus healed them, healed their sickness, and give the care for the needy. Not only that, if we can see in the gospel, it says, he went through the villages, lead them back to the right path through his teaching. If you see Mark chapter 6 was after the Mark chapter 6 verse 1 to 6, it tells that Jesus called and sent his disciples two by two to work against the evil spirit. Saint Damien, who is ardent preacher and saint, he prayed again and again to God, and with his prayer, God answered to him. He prayed for God to get a good mission. God sent him the greatest mission. That is, he was sent to an island. It is known as Molokai. It is the island where the people who are suffering with leprosy, with the deadly sickness, were taken to that place. Even the relatives of the leprosy and the sick people, they were afraid to go to that village because people are suffering with sickness and leprosy. They were afraid that if they go, it will be spread for them also. So, in that particular area, God sent Saint Damien to work for those sick people. Then how did Saint Damien work for them? He worked for them first. He constructed the church, houses, hospital, and centers for the people who are suffering with leprosy and deadly diseases. Second, he gave the cure. He gave the leprosy by curing their sickness, and not only that, he educated them. Then third, he made them to have the willpower by stand themselves by living by their own. Even we too Christians are called for the same thing. Not to reject the people who against us, who rebel against us. Rather to forgive them and pray for them constantly and bring them back to educating them to live with the virtuous practices.